Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on Karate Kid Legends. So, Karate Kid Legends is the sixth Karate Kid movie overall, and the seventh Karate Kid project with Cobra Kai included. And it came out back in May 2025, the end of May, like a few weeks ago. And it is directed by Jonathan Entwistle, and it stars uh, Ben Wang, Chucky Chan, Ralph Macchio, Joshua Jackson, Sadie Stanley, Ming Na Wen, Aramis Knight, Wyatt Olaf, etc. And so the film tells a story of Kung Fu prodigy Li Fong, who has moved from Beijing into New York City with his mother because his mother has gotten a new job as a doctor. And Li's mom is hoping for her son to not causing to not be involved in any more fights after the death of her elder son and Lee's older brother, because Lee's brother has been killed off by a gang who got into a fight with them, and then one of them stabbed the brother. And yeah, so of course, yeah. So Lee builds a relationships in New York with this girl named Mia, who he has a crush on, and her father, Victor, who is a boxer, and Lee decides to train the Victor into becoming going back into the world of boxer, while still also technically teaching him like the skills of kung fu. And yeah, but apparently Lee's skills aren't enough, as his him trying to regain his karate learnings has got him into big trouble. Especially when it came to the attention of a bully Mia's ex boyfriend. And yes, and so when some after some trouble that Lee caused in New York, thanks to his lack of kung fu skills, Mr. Han comes to New York to train, to give Lee more training. And when he finds out that there is a tournament in New York, yeah, Mr. Han forces Lee to join the to compete in the tournament and against his mom's wishes for him not to join any tournaments. And so Mr. Han also enlists the original Karate Kid Daniel LaRusso for help, and Lee learns a new way to fight, which merges both kung fu and karate into one for the ultimate martial arts showdown. So yeah, I think if you guys know me so well, you know that I am a huge karate fan. I'm also a karate learner myself, as I'm currently in purple belt, like about to be brown belt. Maybe next year, who knows? But yeah, I take up karate classes. I've been taking up karate classes since 2018, and I actually do love doing karate a lot. But yeah, although just don't expect me to be strong at karate, yeah. The original Karate Kid is my favorite movie of 1984. Sorry, Ghostbusters, and it is in my top five favorite movies of the 1980s. For sure, I absolutely love the original. I didn't grow up with it. I didn't even watch it until I started doing karate, taking out karate lessons. That was the time when I started to watch the original Karate Kid movie. And yeah, but though we haven't really gotten a masterful Karate Kid movie since the original. The others have ranged from okay to just outright disgustingly bad. Yeah, Karate Kid Part Two. Not a fan. I know Karate Kid Part Two has a fan base. I will say I love the idea of Okinawa. I love the Japanese characters like Mariko and yeah, you know those stuff. Chosen, yeah. But I just thought the movie was kind of boring, was draggy, was slow paced. Yeah. But I will give it a chance. Maybe I feel like maybe one day I will. I can I could grow more appreciation for it. especially when the Okinawa plotline was actually my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about Cobra Kai season 3. Yeah, that was an amazing moment. Yeah, and then you got the Karate Part 3, which I think is the best of the Karate sequels. It's still not a very good movie. It's just alright at best, pretty average, but I think it is overhated. I mean, the only reason I kind of gave it a pass is because of Terry Silver, the greatest Karate villain ever. I think Terry Silver is just such an amazing villain, even on his own, without the need of without the need of yeah, Cobra Kai. Terry Silver still carries Karate Kid 3. He's the reason why that movie was pretty good. Although Karate Kid Part 3 was kind of a rehash of the first film, that was my problem with it. With a Johnny Lawrence like bully and Ali Mills like love interest, and even the tournament feels like the exact same as the as the original. And then you got the next Karate Kid. Oh boy, probably the worst girl power, quote unquote girl power movie I have ever seen, with one of the worst female characters of all time. And the Karate Kid, the 2010 reboot was not much better than that. Yeah, I honestly think Karate Kid 2010 is the most overrated movie 2010. I do not get the love for that film at all. It is painfully boring. It feels insulting considering that they made kung fu instead of karate and no karate, and it just forgets what made the original so good. And the main character, Dre, he is so unlikable. I absolutely hate him so much. He pisses me off. He feels like the real bully. I mean, the bully in the movie doesn't even do anything wrong, but then Dre's the one who just stands to start the fight. It's like, what the fuck? How can people not see that problem? And people just say, oh, I like Dre so much. I want him to return in the future. Come on. Like, no. Okay, well, if Mike Barnes can end up being a better character than his Cobra character, maybe the same can happen for Dre, but whatever. And speaking of Cobra Kai, yeah, everyone knows how much of a Cobra Kai fan I am. It is my favorite show of all time. I absolutely love it to death. Yeah, so just based on my fanboyism of Cobra Kai alone, I actually put Kraken Legends in my top 10 favorite, most anticipated movies of 2025 somehow. And yes, I know I will acknowledge the fact that that we did not need another Kraken reboot, um, but I still was down for it. Just because I wanted a good Kraken movie, and I was hoping for um finally a truly great Kraken movie, which is why I had such high expectations for it. Sure, when the reviews came out, I did remove this from my top 10 favorite most anticipated movies of the year list. Yeah, I'll admit that. Yeah, I just didn't want to admit that there are other movies that had more potential to be better than this. I was just way too obsessed with Craig that I just forced this in my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025 list. Yeah, but yeah, I will say that there are things that has me excited for it, like the return of Daniel LaRusso, and also the casting of Ben Wang, who, if you've seen American Born Chinese, you probably saw Ben Wang. I think Ben Wang is one of the absolute standouts of of American Born Chinese. I still have yet to review the show, but at some point I will review it. And yeah, so this is met with mixed to bad reviews, below average reviews. There are people who enjoyed it, had a lot of fun with it, but then there are people who downright hated this movie and said that it was just another Sony cash grab. Some people even compared it to the Sony Spider-Man universe and said that this is the Sony Spider-Man villain verse of Karate Kid. Now, I've kept this quiet for a while. I did not get a chance to talk about it. I was going to plan to mention it, but then it just kept slipping my mind. I saw this movie. I actually saw this movie early. I saw it online. Yeah, that was only because I just wanted to get my thoughts out of the way. I was just so curious to see what this movie was like. And yeah, and the reason why this movie was accessible online early was because it came out in Brazil and another country, and Mexico early. So yeah, and so someone from there posted the movie online, and yeah, so the only reason I watched it is because this movie was going to come out late in my area. It came out on the exact same day as Ballerina, which yes, I have seen Ballerina. Go check out my out of theater reaction if you haven't yet. But yes, I actually the reason why I am reviewing Karate Kid Legends first before Ballerina is because it's an older movie, and I do think I kind of want to give Ballerina a second viewing before I do a full review of that film. But yeah, now after seeing Karate Kid Legends for myself, and by the way, I have from my two reviews of the film, like from the two times I saw the film, I have the same exact same thoughts on it. So yeah, what are my thoughts on Kraken Legends? You may ask. Well, I liked it. I enjoyed it, but considering how high my expectations were for the film, I expected a bit more from it. Although I will say I went to this movie knowing it was going to be the second best Kraken movie, second only behind the original Karate Kid film, and it was that. But yeah, that was not a high bar. Unfortunately, I feel like it's more in the same. It's closer to the quality of Karate Kid Part Three than it was for the first film, as well as Cobra Kai, especially. Now, yes, I knew that this was not going to even come close to the original film. And especially Cobra Kai. But I wanted this to be like a great movie, but it was just good, but not great. Yeah, and I kind of feel like I was a little let down by it, but at the same time, though, well, on first viewing, I felt a little disappointed by it. But although on second viewing, when I rewatched it in theaters yesterday, I will say that no, I was not really. I wouldn't call myself let down by this, but it just did not really meet my expectations in terms of what I wanted from it. The film truly shines the most is the first 45 minutes, as it mainly focuses on the teen drama slash coming of age aspect rather than the karate aspect, which is a pretty good way of making this feel kind of different from the other Karate Kid movies. And yeah, I think Lee was a very interesting character, and he had such an intriguing character background with the fact that his brother died, and then they moved to New York. He moves to New York with his mother. Yeah, sure, you got your um overprotective mother cliche where the mother prohibits his son from fighting to not end up with the same fate as his brother. But I kind of love that first 45 minutes. I love how Li Fong was already a fighter to begin with at the start, so we did not need to go through the same old story of he's a weak loser, he got bullied, and then he was saved by a sensei who trains him to defend himself. Yeah, he's already a fighter himself, so we didn't need to go through your typical Kraken origin story. Ban Wang is an absolute perfect casting choice for the role of a new Karate Kid. American Born Chinese, which I think is one of the most underrated, underappreciated shows of all time, and is among the top three best shows of 2023. Please watch the show if you haven't. That show proved he can be a strong lead, and for his debut in a movie from a well-known IP, it works. Mia is my favorite character in the film. And she is the best love interest in any Karate Kid movie. And no, I'm not saying she's as good as characters like Sam LaRusso and Tori Nichols from Cobra Kai, who are totally the best love interest in the Karate Kid universe. But I think she is better than Ali Mills in the original Karate Kid. I know I've never seen the live action Kim Possible movie, and I probably never will. But apparently, Mia is played by the same actress as live action Kim Possible. Obviously she this is already the redemption role she deserves, and she needed that. But don't expect Mia to be just some generic love interest. As what makes her stand out from any other love interest like Ali Mills and Mariko, is that her name, in Yukio, something like that, from Karate Kid 2, and Jessica from Love and was her name Jessica from Karate Kid 3. What makes her this a standout from those characters is that she actually has a character arc of her own, where basically her life feels like her life is at a low point after being having a long time romantic relationship with a bully, the film's main antagonist, Connor, and she just wants a good life on her own, and she wants somebody who can be on the same boat with her, and like as she said in the movie, make the same mistakes as her. And also we also another one of the standouts of the film is Victor, Mia's father. Yeah, he is a boxer. He's a retired boxer who now runs a pizza shop. Yeah, and considering how he was a former boxer, there is a boxing match in the middle of the film which gave off a Rocky and Creed vibes. And the boxing is not only there. The boxing is not only there to serve to just to be to have a boxing match, but it actually served the purpose of the story. It drives Lee's character forward, because there's a scene in the film where his Lee asked Mr. Han permission to train him, but but uh, but Mr. Han encouraged it, saying, "Oh, you should share what you've learned from me to other people," and so that's what drives Lee to train Victor. But then during the boxing match, Victor gets hurt, gets defeated, and not only that, but he got into a critical condition, and got taken to a hospital. Although I think it is a little unfair to blame Lee for Victor falling, as the opponent cheated by hitting him in the face with an elbow. So yeah, I'll admit that I honestly think Lee's mother is one of the weaker characters in the film. I will explain why later on in the review. One of my favorite scenes in the film is the backstory with the death of Lee's brother, which was shockingly dark. One of the darkest moments in the entire Karate Kid universe, in all honesty, yeah. And my personal favorite scene in the film would have to be when when Lee fought over fought the gang from outside the pizza shop. Yeah, Victor was going to rescue Lee, but then Lee's the one who rescued Victor and kicked the living shit out of guard, those gangs. Yeah, what an awesome fight scene. With However, with all that said, the film goes downhill once Mr. Hunt shows up to New York after a while to train Lee and recruit Daniel to help him. Yeah, basically that second half of the film after 45 minutes. The karate aspect honestly was so underwhelming. The biggest problem with the film is that it is way too short. Sorry, Jeff. Something. With a runtime of 90 minutes, it is clearly rushed. They did mostly enough with the teen drama aspect and having Lee build relationships with everyone around him, including Mia, Victor, and his tutor, which I forgot the name. But at first, I hated that shooter character, but on rewatch, I actually appreciate his character much more now, and he's actually pretty funny. Oh, and yeah, this movie has some funny moments too. Yeah, but okay, anyways, yeah. The cry moments felt incredibly rushed. Daniel only had 15 minutes of screen time, and although I'm not too surprised about that, but Mr. Han having 30 minutes of screen time was surprising. Although I will say this, I get why Mr. Han had less screen time. It's because he was left in Beijing while Lee was in New York. So of course, Mr. Han had to stay in Beijing until it was actually necessary for him to come to New York. But yeah, Daniel being this one, it just felt like a shoehorn. And ultimately, I feel like just the idea of Daniel and Mr. Han crossing over, it just did not work. That's like if that's like crossing over the what's her name what's that that's like have crossover between the original Halloween and the Halloween reboot, like Jamie Lee Curtis's character and the main character from Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's like making a Halloween movie with both of them as a crossover, and that definitely won't work. But yeah, the chemistry between Daniel and Mr. Han did not work for me. Mr. Han recruited Daniel to teach Lee Miyagi style karate, but then the script decides to contradict it when, as both Mr. Han and Daniel bicker over which style is superior between ancient Kung Fu and Miyagi Do karate. And that is basically a copy of the banter between Daniel, Johnny, and Cobra Kai season 4. Oh, and I don't like how Daniel reverts back to square one, like where he basically he glazes over Mr. Miyagi too much, and he thinks that, oh no, it's wrong. Oh, ancient kung fu is wrong. It should be Miyagi style karate because that's the only good karate style, and that's the style I learned. Yeah, Daniel, just why? I'm sorry, but that is getting old now. Like Daniel, okay, I was okay with Daniel glazing over Mr. Miyagi in Cobra Kai. I got why it's a huge part of his character development, but him doing it in Kraken Legend, I'm sorry, but just no. Yeah, and throughout the Cobra Kai series, Daniel learns to accept the fact that any Cobra Kai karate style and then slide under it. Isn't it illegal? Oh wait, Mr. Honda tops his subway ticket card hundreds of times just to get Lee to complete the exercise without getting into trouble. Who the fuck came up with the idea? Another development that felt really lacking is the mother and son relationship between Lee and his mother, Ming Na Wen's character. His mother forbids him to fight in order to make sure he doesn't suffer the same fate as his brother, which is pretty much an overprotective mother cliche. But then she suddenly accepts Lee's decision to fight seconds before the final match. Where was the motivation for Lee's mother to accept it? Where? The fights are fun. I will say that the tournament fights are fun, especially the final fight. It's so much better if the movie didn't rush against there. There. Yeah. Um, Now I'm gonna give away some heavy spoilers of the film because it was out for a week now. So if you haven't seen the film yet, watch the movie. I do recommend it's worth watching, even though I don't think it's great. And yeah, let's talk about the spoilers. So yeah, there were some fan service moments, specifically in the beginning and end. The beginning had a flashback sequence with the DH Mr. Miyagi and CGI young Daniel taking place during the events of Kraken Part Two, where we see Mr. Han explain to Daniel the legacy of the legacy of of the Han family and how they connected with the Miyagi family. Although I personally feel mixed, conflicted about that opening scene, as I like that we get to see Mr. Miyagi and young Daniel on screen. That was cool, but the idea of just but that it felt like it was only there just to tell audiences, oh, don't worry, we know what we're doing. We're going to try and justify Mr. Miyagi and no, I mean Daniel and Han, Mr. Han crossover. We're gonna just ending where basically we see a Johnny Lawrence cameo, and that not only isn't just a Johnny Lawrence cameo, but that ending probably features the funniest scene of the year. So basically, Johnny was like, "Oh, hey, I got an idea. We should open our own pizza restaurant in Reseda called Miyagi Do." Although yes, Daniel is and is another. Daniel once again says like, "Oh, turning Mr. Miyagi, Maggie's name into a brand is an insult to Mr. Miyagi, which is not." But then and then at the end, Johnny was like, "Oh, slice first, slice hard, pepperoni hard, no anchovies." Yeah, that was hilarious. I love how the movie actually was able to keep Johnny's personality alive. Like, and yeah, that was what made the ending the best part of the film. Not only because of the fact that Johnny appeared, but they actually stayed true to his character. So overall, Kraken Legends maybe may not be as good as I wanted it to be. I was rooting for this to be the first truly good Kraken movie since the original, but it ended up being just good but not great. I love the new characters, especially Lee and Mia, and I kind of love that first 45 minutes of the film. But the insanely short runtime and the rush to the third act that brought this film down. It's better than the corrected sequels for sure, and way better than the 2010 reboots. But that's not a high bar. Yeah. So yeah. With that said, guys, I'm going to give Kraken Legends a 3.5 stars out of 5. A good movie. So also for my thoughts on Kraken Legends. So what are your thoughts on the movie? Do you agree with me that this movie is enjoyable but not great, or did you outright hate this movie, or at least call it underwhelming? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on Ballerina. Bye, guys.